Stress, burnout, mental and physical health struggles are becoming the norm for millions of employees across the UK. But why is this happening in one of the world's most developed economies? Despite the countless hours people pour into their jobs, it seems the UK government is doing shockingly little to protect and enhance the health and well-being of working people. Could this be costing lives, livelihoods, and the future of the country? In this video, we'll uncover why the UK government is failing working people and what that means for employee health, their jobs, and the future. And more importantly, we'll look at what can be done, because the clock is ticking and the well-being of UK workers hangs in the balance. In the UK, annually 1.8 million suffer with work-related ill health, and this adds up to 31.5 million working days lost. The total annual cost of workplace injury and ill health is estimated by the HSE to be as much as £20 billion. But what is the UK government doing about statistics like these? Let's face it, work is taking a toll on employees like never before. British working people are dealing with some of the highest levels of stress, burnout, and health issues in history. But what's really driving this crisis? Well, research shows that work is British employees' third biggest cause of stress after lack of sleep and money worries. And it's not just stress. Burnout, depression, and anxiety are becoming part of daily life for millions across the country. Sick days linked to mental health are on the rise, costing businesses and the economy billions each year. And what's worse is many employees feel that they have no one to turn to for help. Workplace support is often insufficient. This leaves individuals to fend for themselves when they need support the most. But what are the UK government doing about it? Are they doing enough? Now, before we slander the government and its challenges, it's important to recognise that the UK government has taken some positive steps to support employee health and well-being over the years. And while there's still a long way to go, these initiatives do show that progress is possible. First, there are laws in place that protect workers' health and safety. The Health and Safety at Work Act of 1974, one of the world's most comprehensive pieces of legislation, requires employers to assess and mitigate risks to employee health, ensuring safe working conditions across all industries. Another notable win is UK employees' right to sick leave. Employees who fall ill or are injured can take statutory sick leave. And while it may not be perfect, it does provide employees with some financial security while they recover. In many countries, support like this doesn't exist at all. The UK has also led the way in promoting flexible working. Thanks to the Flexible Working Act, since 2023, employees have had the right to request flexible hours or remote work. And this can significantly reduce stress, especially for those balancing work with personal responsibilities. Now, it doesn't mean employers have to accept their request, but employees have the legal right to ask. These are all certainly steps in the right direction. But as stress, burnout, and health issues continue to rise, the question remains, are these measures enough? While these initiatives have helped many, they don't seem to address the core problems that seem to push UK workers to the brink. And that's where the UK government is falling short. Despite the steps taken by the government to support employee health, these steps only seem to scratch the surface. As stress, burnout, and mental and physical health issues continue to rise, it's clear that the current efforts are not enough to keep up with the growing demands of the modern workplace. For starters, the government's focus on reactive measures rather than preventative action is a major issue. Much of the current policy addresses problems after they occur, rather than preventing them in the first place. Mental health support is encouraged, but it's not mandatory, leaving millions of people without adequate resources. This means companies have to implement their own policies to support their employees. The good news for companies watching this video, we send out free resources to help companies support the health and well-being of their employees. And if you want access to them, all you have to do is join the free mailing list. The link's in the description box. Now, another significant gap lies in the government's failure to support the gig economy and non-traditional workers. With the rise of freelance, part-time work, and gig work, many workers fall outside the scope of existing protection. And this can leave them vulnerable to poor working conditions without proper health benefits or sick leave. Those on 0-hour contracts won't get any sick pay at all if they can't make it to work. And some may turn up to work sick because they can't afford to miss it, potentially infecting others. But perhaps the most glaring issue is the lack of a coordinated national strategy for workplace well-being. While individual initiatives exist, there's no comprehensive approach that brings together mental health, physical health, and workplace well-being under one unified framework. Departments seem to operate in silos, leaving huge gaps in policy and support. Public health funding has also been significantly cut over the last decade due to austerity, reducing the ability of local authorities to take proactive steps to improve workplace well-being initiatives. Many local programs designed to promote well-being in the workplace have been left underfunded or completely dismantled, especially in deprived areas where they need it the most. Without serious investment in preventative measures, comprehensive mental health support, and better protection for all workers, the UK government will continue to fail working people. And the consequences of inaction are only growing. So what can be done? Now, while it's clear that the government's efforts are well intentioned, they are nowhere near enough to meet the challenges faced by today's workforce. The good news is, it's not too late for the UK government to turn things around. There are several key areas where the government can and should take immediate action to better support employee health and well-being across the country. First and foremost, the government needs to invest in preventative measures. The focus should shift from addressing health problems as they arise to preventing them in the first place. This could be done by requiring businesses to provide mandatory workplace well-being programs, offering resources for mental and physical health support before employees reach a crisis point. The government could provide detailed documentation on ways to support the health and well-being of working people, getting experts to guide them in the process to ensure maximum efficiency. Secondly, there needs to be a unified cross-government strategy for employee well-being. Right now, the government operates in silos, with different departments responsible for various aspects of health at work, but without coordination and national strategy that brings together mental health, physical health, workplace safety, and well-being under one umbrella could make a huge difference. This strategy should be backed by long-term investment in public health, particularly for workplace health initiatives. Funding cuts have devastated local health services, leaving many without access to essential resources. Reinvesting in these services, especially in deprived areas, would help close the gap and ensure that all workers, regardless of their location or industry, have access to the support they need. The government could also make mental health support in workplaces mandatory. While some companies have embraced mental health initiatives, too many companies still fall short. Legislation requiring businesses to provide mental health first aid training, access to counseling services, and regular mental health check-ins would significantly improve the mental health of UK workers. Now, these are just suggestions from a guy who delivers workshops to help companies support the health and well-being of their employees. What do I know? But with some serious thought, the government could implement policies that take action to prevent some of the health statistics we see in the workplace for those who are struggling. These changes won't happen overnight, but they are necessary if the UK government wants to build a workforce that is happy, healthy, and able to thrive in the long term, boosting the UK economy. The cost of inaction is simply too high. But while the UK government struggles to keep up with the evolving needs of the UK workplace, many companies are recognizing that they can't afford to wait for the government's reforms. The truth is, supporting the health and well-being of employees isn't just nice to do, it's important to create a thriving workplace. Companies that take action to support the health and well-being of their employees aren't just improving their employees' lives, they're also improving their workplace culture, employee morale, enhancing productivity, and increasing company revenue. So what are the steps companies can take to ensure their workplace is happy, healthy, and productive? Well, to find out, a good place to start is to avoid 3 mistakes that companies are making when implementing well-being policies of their own. And to avoid those mistakes, you need to watch this video right here.